Keen hunters Steve Hill and Adam Kreisel run Hunters for Hope, a charity that donates processed venison meat to local food banks. They're supported by other hunters as well as trophy hunting businesses and farmers who drop off any excess venison they don't want or need. Adam's property at Swannanoa in North Canterbury doubles up as the Hunters for Hope HQ and meat processing site. When Cosmo Kentish Barnes popped in last week, the pair were in a refrigerated container butchering venison and turning it into mince. Steve wiped his hands and came out for a chat.
What we try and do is we make an opportunity where hunters and people with surplus venison, whether it be off a farm or hunter surpluses, can be pulled together and minced and donated to the local food bank to pass out in food parcels and the like.
Yes. How did it all start?
Well, it all started, Adam and I do quite a bit of hunting ourselves, and we were getting quite a large surplus. And the way that we were brought up is you don't really want to waste this stuff. So we had a freezer in my garage at home, a chest freezer completely full of venison trim and no use for it. So we started off actually paying the local butcher to turn it into mince, and we donated it to the local food banks and charity groups. And that worked really well until we got to the volume that this is actually starting to cost quite a bit. So we got to the point that it was too much to continue paying for it out of our own pocket.
Yeah.
And then we also thought that if we've got a surplus, so have other people.
Other people will too.
So we sort of really kicked off last year at the North Canterbury Hunting Competition. So we approached the guys at the Hunting Competition Committee to see if people would donate their deer.
Because that's quite a big event, and quite a few deer are shot over that weekend.
Well, we did it last year for the first time, and we took 50 deer, and we believe we were sort of at the limit of deer that we could get processed. Around about 900 kilos of venison went into the food bank as a result of those 50 deer. We did the same competition this year. We took about 130, 140 deer, so we ended up with just over 2 tonne of mince and 145 kilos of backsteak that all went into the Hope Community Trust in Rangiora.
And you processed it all here on Adam's property?
Yeah, so it's a pretty basic operation. There's nothing too fancy here. One thing that's really probably worth mentioning is it wasn't exclusively Adam and I that processed this venison. There's a special group of guys that is Adam's father and his father's mates from the pub, and we've come to call them Dad's Army. And they're a fantastic group of old buggers, and they can't always work a full day, and they can't always go as long as you'd hope they did. But they're always smiling, and they're taking the jib out of each other and having a good time. So it's good for us to do the venison and give it to the food banks, but it's also a good spin-off for us, is we've got these older guys out actually doing good in the community as well, rather than just sitting home and getting stale and watching the clock.
Yes.
So
yes.
It's a pretty cool thing.
What sort of things do they do?
They do everything from skinning deer to boning deer to trimming a bit of meat off bones. Whatever we ask them to do, they seem to get done.
Yes. Now, you've had some technical complications today. What's happened?
Well, yeah, we're trying to run through a batch of mince to deliver tomorrow into the Hope Trust. We've got it all out, and we've tempered it down, and we're trying to run it through the mincer, but I think our mincer just about came off Noah's Ark, and it's not trying to play ball today. So Adam's in there fighting with it, and I don't know if he's winning, but he's still fighting.
It's quite a big mincer.
Well, it's a large commercial mincer, which is really good for us. But it's 40 or 50 years old, and for what we do, generally it's okay. Today it's been a bugger.
Now, Adam's just come out of the processing container. Adam, has it been fitted out to process the Hunters for Hope venison?
No, not specifically for this work. Steve and I hunted a lot together, so we put this in to keep our meat cool afterwards, shot it, but it's now turned into this beast. So
Who did you both approach when you realised that this was getting bigger than what you could handle?
We've had a very good relationship with the ladies at Hope Community Trust because we had been donating our own surpluses historically. So we had a chat with the ladies there with the idea of processing 50 deer from the hunting competition and basically asking them, if we can get these deer and if we can process it, would you accept it? And they wholeheartedly said, if you can give it to us, we'll take it. So we take all of the mince into the Hope Community Trust, and they will distribute it to any community group or charity, food bank, anybody that sticks a hand up and asks for a bit of venison. If they've got surplus, they'll share it. I do know that 2 tonne of mince we had from the hunting competition, that got distributed the day it was delivered to 35 community groups.
Wow. How many people can that feed?
Well, 2 tonne of mince, what they basically say for a rule of thumb is for every kilogram of mince, it's about 8 meal portions. So 2 tonne of mince would have been, 16,000 meals. So that's pretty cool. And that was all from hunters at the North Canterbury competition that willingly donated their deer to get processed and into mince for the Hope Trust.
And this is no standard meat, Adam. This is wild venison.
It's all completely wild. Yep, there's no added shots of anything to it. It's all clean off the hillside.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. And I read that some hunting kids have also got involved in donating venison that they've shot.
Yes, that was at the North Lowburn School kids hunting competition. So we went along there, and I think we got 9 or 10 deer donated, and the kids came along to Hope Community Trust afterwards. Steve and I had minced it all and came along and saw who it went to and what goes to them and everything.
Yes.
They quite enjoyed it. It was good for the school as well.
Yeah, quite important for kids to learn that they've got something to offer to the community as well.
Oh, definitely. Oh, it's all about getting kids involved, getting them off the screens and getting them out into the wilderness to do something with their parents.
Do some farmers invite you to go out and shoot deer on their farm?
Yes, we do get a few farmers that call us up, but Steve and I only have so much time on our hands that we can go out hunting on a Saturday night to fill the chiller up. But yeah, we do get a few.
And of course, deer can be a real pest for a lot of farmers.
Yeah. There is quite a heavy population of deer that have started to come off conservation land and invading onto farmland and eating crops and feed that was designated for stock. We did get approached earlier in the year by one particular farmer who had quite a deer problem. We went on there, and the first night we were there, we saw 40 deer on one paddock. So over the next couple of weeks, we probably cleaned 30 or 40 deer up off that farm. And talking to the farmer later on, he was appreciative of what we'd done, but the deer had still eaten approximately $30,000 worth of winter feed that he now didn't have to feed his own stock.
Yes. So Hunter for Hope's helping farmers as well as food banks.
Well, correct. And for us, the priority is really the fact that we've been able to identify a surplus, as in this venison. A lot of farmers aren't in the position to utilise those deer that are a problem, and they get commercial helicopter operators in and they do culls, and they're not always able to get every deer off the hill or any deer off the hill sometimes. So for us to be able to utilise some of that product, and working along with MPI and New Zealand Food Safety, we've been able to navigate the legislation. So we're completely above board, completely kosher, to the point that we actually got an email recently from Minister Todd McClay, who's the Minister of Hunting and Fishing, recognising the efforts that we've put in, and it's a priority for them to not only tidy up the pest and help the farming community, but use that surplus and try and tidy up some of that need as well.
And Adam, as you've already mentioned, you're not doing this full time. This is something you're doing in your spare time. What's your day job?
I'm a civil contractor, so we do paving, driveways, and work in central Christchurch and miscellaneous jobs throughout the city. So yeah, this is definitely in our spare time after work and in weekends.
Yes.
So.
How about you, Steve?
I'm a stock agent by day, so that normally fills up most of my week. And then, just for fun, we bone out a few deer and make some mince and donate it to the food bank. So it sort of does work in well with my job and a lot of contacts that we have through my work.
Yes. Now, tomorrow morning, I will be meeting you guys at the Hope Community Trust in Rangiora. So what normally happens there?
So we'll run our chiller trailer through. We'll take all the mince there at about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then the Hope Community Trust ladies would have organised their community groups to come in probably 9:30, 10 o'clock to come and start grabbing it. And nearly all of that will disappear. And they will bag up some of it for their smaller families they give it to. But some of the meat will definitely go away in the full bins.
Yes.
And get dropped off.
Now, you've got a state-of-the-art refrigeration trailer here.
Yep, that's been donated for ourselves and Hope Community Trust to use. So it's a freezer and a chiller. And then if we end up picking up full deer from anyone, we can keep it cold as we're transporting it.
What an amazing resource, because it's brand new.
It is.
And already I can see, sticking my head in here, that you've got, about 10 big bucket loads of meat ready to go.
Yeah, we should have just over 500 kilos good to go for tomorrow.
And for people who want to find out more, or if they want to help or donate some venison, how can they find you?
The easiest way is on Facebook. So please get in touch. There is an email address on the Facebook page. Get in touch. I know Dad's Army, they do appreciate help us from time to time. So if there's older guys out there locally that want to help, fantastic. Or if there's guys that have got a bit of surplus venison and want to do something there, please get in touch.
Well, yesterday I was with Adam and Steve at Adam's property in Swannanoa, where they were processing hundreds of kilos of venison into mince, and now I've just got to the Hope Community Trust Centre in Rangiora, and it doesn't look like Adam and Steve are here yet with their chiller trailer load of mince to distribute, but I might see who else I can have a chat with before they arrive. Okay, sound device on. Let's go and find out what's happening. Good morning. Hi, good, thanks.
Radio man.
I'm Cosmo.
This one's the lady I want to talk to, Mr. Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi.
Tell me about the Hope Community Trust. What do you do here?
Well, we do everything really. So we've got a counselling centre, a community garden, a food bank, an op shop. We do a lot of community meals. So we tend to talk about food support rather than the food bank.
Yes.
Because a food bank is one part of food support, but so are cooking classes, and so are community meals, and so are teaching people how to garden. So it's a holistic thing. And what we do with this venison is we actually go to a lot of community groups that would never get meat anywhere else. So we are going to the very heart of the people in the community that need it.
So what are some of the groups that do this?
So we have about 18 organisations from Oxford to Kaikoura that come and pick it up. So we will have the Tuahiri Marae come today. Shirley is connected to the food forest in Kaiapoi, and so they've got people that distribute it. Salvation Army are coming and they give it to 2 other organisations. And I give it to a preschool music group because they've got 25 families coming, and those families would never go and ask Food Bank for food. And this meat just helps, just that little bit, to save a little bit of money. We have a program here called Top-Ups, and what we do with Top-Ups is that we realise middle income, the working poor, are the ones that are really suffering. Because beneficiaries, although they may say they do it tough, and a lot of them do, they can go to working income and get a food grant if they're eligible. If we're working class people, where do they go?
Tracy, Steve and Adam have just arrived, and the generator for the refrigerated trailer's been turned on.
Yeah. Have these guys been entertaining you?
They have. I was at Adam's property yesterday to see them do all the processing, and gosh, they put a lot of work into this.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's local people helping local people, and so Steve wanted to avoid waste, and he knew that there was a food issue because he was giving us stuff occasionally, and so it's worked out to be a really good partnership.
Well, let's go and have a chat with Shirley, because she is waiting to pick up some mince.
So this is the famous Shirley
Hi,
from
Shirley.
Kaiapoi, and what I said, Shirley, is that you have connections deep in the community, and you get the meat to people that wouldn't get it any other way.
Absolutely. I've got a whole lot of people on my list today. Like one person I have today, I'll bring up his text that he gave me last night, because I said, well, how many are you feeding? And he says he's got 4 singles, he's got 2 couples, he's got a family of 3, 3 families of 5, 1 family of 6, and 1 family of 8. And that's just one person that I'm supplying to.
So you're supplying that person who's supplying multiple families?
About 40 odd. And that's about the same with all the people that I supply to. They farm it out a lot. So we're feeding the people that would never see themselves as going to a food bank and asking for help. These are the people that think, oh no, someone's worse off than me. And then also I learned that ED and hospital are getting a number of over 65-year-olds turning up with malnutrition and being unable to access fresh food or fresh meat. And these are probably the people that live alone in their council flat. So what Tracy's doing and Hunters for Hope is just huge. And to get this really healthy venison with no fat, no additives, and it's all been processed and ready to go. I mean, it's a gift.
So do you have to parcel it up? How does it work?
I've got buckets in the back of my truck now, and I had hoped to package it up here today, but normally I'll take it home and I will divide it up and fill my buckets at home.
Yes.
And then I'll go and deliver it, and people are always smiling when they receive it, that's for sure. So, ooh, very excited.
And Tracy said that you're also involved in the Kapoi food forest.
That's been going for over 7 years now, and it's a foraging area. And in the summertime, children are great because they'll forage for the raspberries and they'll sit amongst the raspberry patch and stuff their face and fill up their ice cream containers. And we have a wee fruit and veggie stand. A lot of people will bring their excess to play it forward so they don't have to see it wasted on the ground. Anyone can come and collect.
What a great system. And this initiative here is an extension of that.
Yes, well, we work hand in hand with these guys, especially with the venison. The food forest is a totally separate entity, but we all work in the same circles.
Yeah, it's all about achieving the same goals of supporting people in the community in need.
Absolutely, and there's such a need. Also on a Saturday, I collect sold bread from a particular bakery in town, bring it out, bag it up, pop it on the fruit and veggie stand in bags. My husband puts a notice on Facebook page. It's bread here to come and collect, come and get it, and even within half an hour it's gone.
Excellent. So what happens now? You're just waiting for Adam and Steve to open the chiller door?
Pretty much, yes. I'm ready to drive in beside and load and go, really, and then I can get on with what I need to do. Sort of like beat the crowd, because there's going to be quite a succession of people coming through now. As Gabby said, we've got this person's got their trailer.
Look, someone's just arrived with a trailer.
He's come to collect as well, so I'm going to pull up there.
Get in line quickly.
The bins are quite heavy, so we empty the bins, we wash them out, and then we bring them back here to Tracy at the end of the day, so she can then forward them on, and then they're ready for next month.
Awesome. Well, keep up the good work, Shirley, and it's great to see this in action.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's very good what these guys do. And I asked him, what is it like in the forest? What is it? He said it's pandemic, that the deer are just plentiful and they're just too many. So it's going to be ongoing for sure.
But it made me look as though I had 3 weeks.
So, Steve, the first load of venison mince is just about to go?
Yep, our aim this year is to try and drop 500 kilos of venison mince to the Hope Trust every month. So we've just had one of the community groups come past. They've taken 125 kilograms of the mince we've just dropped off. That's going to a Kaipoi food assistance group.
Bye, Shirley. Take care.
And we're just having a chat with the ladies there, and that's going out to 40 different families and groups in Kaipoi alone. So it's really quite rewarding.
And you were processing this venison up until about, 9 or 10 last night?
Yes, correct. As we were talking yesterday around at Adams, the mincer was not playing ball. So yeah, you'll be glad you didn't stay later on, because there was a few expletives. But we got the job done, managed to clean up and have a liquid refreshment at the end.
And as a stock agent, you were up at 5 this morning drafting cattle.
So yeah, I had to drive just up country a wee bit. And as soon as we got sun over the horizon, we were starting to draft bulls. So life goes on. We do what we do, but everybody that helps Hunters for Hope are fully aware that they're donating their time. So we just sort of lead from the front, and at times it does invade on work time and family time a bit, but we've made the dedication to do it, and family are pretty understanding.
This is Matthias from the Tuahiri Marae, and so they are a new contact for us, but a very welcomed one, because we really want this venison to go as far as wide as we can.
Matthias, you're picking up some of this delicious venison.
Oh yeah, pick it up, and when we get the call to say there's some available, we come and grab our lot and bag it up for our community, and and it goes really far and wide. So and the cost of living these days is tough. So things like this is it's great.
Yes, and 100 kilos, that's a good load of mince, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and then like I say, our community is really spread into the city as well, and that's feeding from young families to our kaumātua, our elders.
Matthias has just left with his 100 kilos of venison mince, and Steve, the Salvation Army's just pulled up.
Yeah, it's incredibly personally rewarding to get an understanding not only of the people that are donating venison to us, but we also get to meet the people at the other end that are dealing with the cold face of poverty and cost of living crisis and all the rest of it, and how appreciative they are of the volume of protein they're able to distribute within the need in their community. Yeah, it's bloody good for the top 2 inches.
Hunter for Hope's Steve Hill. Cosmo was also talking to Adam Kreisel, Shirley Cairns, Matthias Pitama and Hope Community Trust's Tracy Pyrie. You'll find photos of the team on the RNZ website, rnz.co.nz/countrylife.